Recording in progress.
Well, another 7 p.m.
Hold on. Oh, great. We'll call the meeting to order of the Scio Township Zoning Board of Appeals, regular meeting of October 16th, 2025. It's more or less 7:00 p.m. So I'll call the meeting to order. Mr. Shields, would you please call the roll?
Oth,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Shields, yes. Noel,
Yes.
Kangas.
Yes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have any motion to adopt or to change or to add or to delete? Gotta have a motion. Motion to
Support.
adopt, made by Mr. Wallace, supported by Ms. Knoll. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Next thing, communications or correspondence. I have none. Do we have any other correspondence or communications? Okay, nothing there. So the next item on the agenda is swearing in of persons giving testimony during a public hearing. We have two public hearings here today. If you're going to be speaking at the public hearing, please stand up, raise your right hand. Sure. If you do not wish to speak, then you do not have to take the oath. If you wish to speak, you must take the oath. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public hearings. We'll have the first public hearing, which is variance number 25002, 30 Parkland Plaza as Victory HQ by Bloom General Contracting for 30 Parkland Plaza. H-08-26-200-018 to allow construction of a front yard patio with a front yard setback of 25 foot instead of the required 50 foot in accordance with section 36-75. Angela, I just got a text from Doug LaWand. Please let him in.
Oh, all right.
He says he is here. That's what he claims.
I did, I wanted to.
So if persons who will be speaking on or making the presentation on this variance number 25002, please come up to the front desk and I'll review with you very quickly God bless you. God bless you. I give you how we do the public hearings here. These are the following rules of procedure. Number one, I'll open the public hearing by announcing the subject of the appeal, the petition by identifying the applicant's name, case number, specified request, and the general location of the subject property. After that, I summarize the procedures and rules to be followed, which I am doing this. Next, I will call on the petitioner or the petitioner's representative to present their statements in support of the appeal, along with any supporting evidence. After that, the petitioner, his or her agent or attorney may present his or her case, including presenting witnesses on his or her behalf. After that, members of the ZBA shall report on any site inspection and any conversations with the petitioner which may have occurred. After that, members of the public who support the petitioner may speak and correspondence is read. We don't have any correspondence though. After that, members of the public who oppose the petitioner speak and correspondence is read. Again, no correspondence has been made. After that, chairperson, me, may permit the petitioner a rebuttal within limits set by myself. After that, upon motion of any ZBA member, they announce the close of the hearing and announce continuation of the public hearing to another specified time and date if the hour is late or additional pertinent information must be obtained. After that, the ZBA will deliberate the request and decide the issues, or if a majority of members decide more information or clarification is needed, the issue may be postponed to a future meeting. That's the basic idea of the procedures for our public hearing. So, with reference to the first, public hearing today, dealing with, 30 Parkland Plaza, who will be, starting out giving a presentation?
I will.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Joe Maynard with Washington Engineering.
I'm sorry?
Joe Maynard with Washington Engineering.
Okay.
And
Mr. Maynard, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna bring up a presentation. 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna read part of this for you. We're here this evening to request a variance of Victory Automotive Group for the reduction of the 50-foot front yard setback to allow for a 25-foot by 45-foot concrete patio. First, let me tell you a little bit about the owner. Victory has grown from a small family-owned dealership to a company that now has over 50 locations located throughout the US and represents 18 of the best auto brands. Though they've grown over the years, they're still a family-owned company with community goals in mind. This is what's brought them to Scio Township here to create a new corporate office. It's going to house over 250 employees at 30 Parkland Plaza. Owners began this process with Scio Township, plan for the necessary expansion to the property to have the needed office space, meeting space, and training space to support their 250 employees that will be there. As shown in this attached existing condition plan, property has 5 acres of land, but it's uniquely situated 3 road frontages. You've got Parkland Plaza, which is the main road, the office address. Park Road, which is to the north, takes up the entire, northern property line of the property. And then Heisler Court, which is to the south. So it gives us 3 road frontages and essentially just 2 side yards, small areas. As you can see on this plan, the existing building is only 21,000 square feet. And it proposes to expand the site to 67,000.
Mr. Maynard, can I stop you for just a second?
Sure.
You're showing a document, well, it's not there, there it is.
Yeah.
You're showing a document, has that been submitted to us? That document?
Yes. Yes, this one's in your
Do
set.
you have that? Do you have it? Well, maybe that's the reason I don't. So I don't have.
The existing condition, I was just showing you.
Hold on a second, let's just take it step by step. Do you have one?
I think what's this, is this one?
No.
This is all I have.
National site plan.
This is what I have.
No, that's not the same, no.
Did you get this? That's
No.
all I got.
That's it?
That's what I got.
Small. You got 2 gates in the side, freeze. Really out there.
That's not it. Is that me? No, that's not it. Yeah. I don't have a copy of that. Does anybody here on the ZBA?
This is probably the sheet that you have.
Hold on a second, we'll take it step by step, Mr. Maynard. We're trying to, what we'd like to do is get the evidence here, and you're presenting evidence, which is fine.
This we have.
Okay, you've switched it to a different one,
Yeah,
okay?
just for reference, I was showing you plans that the township has, that's part of the site plan process, of why we need the variance.
Well, we understand that, this. Okay. You're using. I believe we have that marked as dimensional site plan proposed patio. Is that the title of this document? Okay, go ahead.
So. So we're expanding the existing site from 21,600 square feet of office space to 67,659 square feet of office space. Through the township site planning process at this time. So one thing the Victory promotes is the well-being and, for its employees. And this comes with expansive walking paths, plenty of plantings around the site, and a full cafeteria for its employees. And this cafeteria happens to be right off of the first building that you see. And the exit to that cafeteria, just the door right there, is where this patio is going to be. Should be your second page when you're at. So the employees can go outside and enjoy their lunch. On nice days like today. In order to get the necessary building space and parking space that they need, we've basically used majority of the 5 acres within the setbacks to get the parking spaces and the building space to accommodate the 250 employees. And the northern side of this property is really the only space we have that has reasonable.
Hold stuff just a second, I apologize. Gentlemen, could you not talk, please, while the hearing is going on? You'll have the opportunity to do so later. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
Well, that's okay. So we chose this location because it's uniquely situated on the north side, where normally this would be a side yard setback in any normal situation where you've got a road frontage, got side yards and rear yard. This location, because of the location of Park Road, is actually situated much further north in the right of way, which is the road commission's right of way, giving us actually 70 feet from the edge of the roadway, to the edge of the patio, where normally that roadway would be much closer. This makes a unique advantage. Plus the area is heavily wooded, which is why we chose this space. Going elsewhere on the property, say further to the west, roadway gets much closer to the property. There's a lot more landmark trees in that area, which is why we weren't able to, we didn't want to put it down there. Plus it's too far for the employees to walk with their lunch. You don't want to come out here and go a couple 100 feet down to a patio. You want to be able to go right outside, enjoy your food while it's warm. So I just wanted to give you kind of an idea of what it would look like when it's all complete. This is a little set, it's just a color copy up here. You got color. Essentially, we're looking to heavily landscape it, so it's not visible from the roadway. Again, this will only be used mostly during lunchtime by the employees. This is not open to the public. And Park Road is a very low volume road, so we feel that this request is not going to create any undue hardship to any neighbors. The property to the north here is actually owned by the road commission. So there'll be no construction or no homes built in that area. Guess I'll leave it with questions now.
Pardon?
I'm gonna leave it to you with questions, or I've got some other photographs if you wanna see them, but it sounds like if we didn't present it, then it might not be.
Well. The old, I guess. I don't see it. There's gonna be a connection between the existing building and the new building, correct?
Yes,
So. But we don't have a drawing of the new building or the existing building and the new building and whatever. You're gonna put in between the atrium, I guess, and I was trying to figure that out in my head.
yeah, this
Uh,
might help.
So you've got a shot, an overhead drawing of where the two buildings are gonna be. Where's the patio on that drawing?
Could you walk up there and take us through this?
Right there, yep. So, yeah,
So the patio is gonna be on the existing building?
yes,
That's where that's where the kitchen and cafeteria are.
so if we put it on,
Because we're not putting a kitchen cafeteria in the new building.
there's really not space with the entry drive there either.
Just to clarify, essentially the new building, we go back to the dimensional site plan, which are phase one, it's right down at the bottom of it. I'm guessing is the existing building and then the new building.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
There's
Okay.
the atrium, yeah.
So a narrower connection between the two buildings. Essentially, it almost looks like a duplicate building.
Almost like that.
Okay.
That's the public space where people would come when they go visit.
I think. Being on a planning commission.
You've seen this, right?
Yes.
You might have two cats.
These are just some of the renderings of what the, spend a lot of money to put this together.
There's the patio.
Create just a nice space for the employees.
Can you describe the canopies? Canopies were more from the architect just to show something that could be done. We probably won't end up doing that. If you talk about those two right there,
Yeah, I was just wondering.
yeah, that's.
How we were, was it gonna be something fixed into the concrete? Was it going to be
We're
umbrellas?
actually even gonna do that, to be honest.
On the north side of the building, you're gonna get shade from the building.
Exactly. The building and the trees are, there's quite a bit of trees right there.
Yeah.
It's a decorative choice by the architect.
Questions for the applicant at this point? Ladies and gentlemen, there's no.
Will you be cutting down any trees on the site to construct the building?
To construct the patio? Or the building,
Well, either the new building or the patio, yes.
either actually. There's nothing, right now, it's just,
Well, there's trees that are coming down for the site plan, yes.
Well, they've already been cut down, haven't they?
No, not as part of the proposed site plan. It's not approved yet by the board yet.
All right,
The patio, though.
But we have all our mitigation, and proposed plantings and all of that. There's a few trees in this area, but they're small. And we're actually looking at relocating them because they're small enough that they could be relocated.
a couple little spruces.
Yeah, they're small.
There's like
less
three
than
little
3
spruces, I think
Yeah.
there's 6 to 8 footers, and we will be relocating.
Just for clarification,
Yeah.
this is just the patio tonight. This is.
Yeah,
Correct.
just the little patio area, there are a few small trees that will be relocated, yes.
I think there would be 2 that are in the way of the patio, if I recall.
That's it. Questions?
I mean, what's there now is essentially, it looks like slightly raised, there's wood chips, it looks like there's been some attempts at landscaping.
It's an existing landscape bed that is
Right.
there, yeah, yeah. So,
There's like 2 or 3 spruce trees right there. It's just the rest of it's mulch. They're
Yeah.
pretty far apart.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I wandered through.
Well, I've got a couple questions. The main one, I think, is what are the exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applicable to this property that don't generally apply to other properties in the area? You mentioned there's three separate roads. Well, okay, it's a big building. But what besides that would entitle you to argue that the setbacks, shouldn't be, adhered to?
We don't have any other areas to put it, it's really,
Say
we
again?
don't have any other.
Oh, let me get your name for the
Sorry,
record.
Justin Adler, I'm with Bloom General Contracting, the project manager for
Last name?
Adler, Adler.
Thanks.
You have the parking lot on the south side. Parkland Plaza on the east, obviously the new building being the west, so really the only place we could have for it, and there's plenty of space for it, would be the north side there.
Well, if you wanted to put a patio, you could put it on the west side of the new building, right? It wouldn't be where you would want it to be, but you could do it and meet the setback, right?
But we wouldn't be meeting our parking requirements for the project.
Well, I guess I don't know that. That's,
There's gonna be what, 250
Two hundred and
employees?
fifty employees.
Yeah,
We don't even have 250 parking spaces, so. Mhm. So we are putting parking inside the big building on the end as well, trying to create extra space. In order to do that, but as you can see, I mean, the front there. It used to be up higher until the road commission took the right of way for Park Road. Which has bumped that front area down, causing additional hardship on the property. So, and then you can see the road, I mean, the road's far to the north. So from that patio to the edge of the roadway, it's actually 70 feet.
well, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I didn't understand that. Could you
Yeah.
explain the 70 feet again?
Yeah.
Mr. Luan, you may want to pay attention here, because I may need some input from you.
So you see how the road kind of bows up to the top there? So from the edge of that roadway, all the way to our patio edge is 70 feet.
Is it on one of these drawings? The 70-foot?
I don't think the 70-foot mark is there. We show the distance from patio, obviously, to the property line.
Right.
But we were looking at, that roadway is, so much farther north. We've got a lot of existing trees and plantings in there that help buffer this area.
So the 70 feet would be from the north side of the road to the patio,
South side of the road to the patio.
but the south side of the road is not your property line?
No, our property line's the white line. That area.
Go back to the page.
so
This
No, the very first, Victory Headquarters Phase 1. Middle of the page to the right shows the setback and then shows the area.
What were you talking?
This is the setback. All right, hold on. Let me just make sure I've got this right. You scroll across to this side. That's the setback line. Right here, you're talking
Oh,
about
that's
this,
the section line,
this,
the property setback.
yeah, this is the road. You're talking about this white space between the road.
The setback for the building is actually right here, right along the actual building face.
Right, but, yeah, that's where the 50 feet is.
This is the property line.
And so I was looking at this as the road, and I was looking at
This is
this.
the road right
Right.
here, yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking about this area.
This area here in the right of way
Is the right way.
is basically
Right,
lawn space.
that's what I was.
Gaining us
Yes,
70
Okay.
feet. Yep.
So where's the 70 feet?
it's from the road to the bed. This is
Yeah,
patio.
got it.
This is where the property line and setback ends. it's this distance from here to here, because this is the road. So there's all this space. But that's the
Okay,
right of
but
way of
what's-
Park Road.
Right.
That's all, that's the point. How that affects us, we'll get to.
All right. Well, if we were not to allow this, what would be your option?
Be a small, real small patio maybe, but I don't even know if we'd end up doing that because it would be too small to really. Right there, inside the building from the patio is the kitchen, the break room where everybody will have their lunch. They can't go out. I mean, to put a small patio with 2, 3 tables could be done, but.
This door right here,
Yes, oh yeah, sorry, there's a door there. That's
this
directly.
door right here, actually walks straight into the cafeteria area. So it's actually, you know, partly an egress door, but cafeteria, but that's the door that goes out.
And just past the patio right now, as you can see by the topographic lines, we have like a berm, so it's actually elevated. I don't know, probably saw when you were out there. All kind of be sunk away from the road anyway. Or
Well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
At some point, I'd like to ask Doug a question, but I don't know if it's now.
Fire away.
Doug, I have a question for you. Given that the existing area has wood chips, it's basically mulch. The reason we're talking is they want to put a concrete slab down, and that's obviously an infringement into the setback. If they just slapped picnic tables out on the area, umbrellas or whatever, is that an infringement? I guess define an infringement. What makes something an infringement on a setback? Does it have to be a permanent item? If they shifted from mulch to some sort of stone and a pathway and put the tables, I'm just trying to figure out what makes it an infringement versus, you know, what's existing there.
Yeah, so this is a little different than, I mean, than a straight setback variance. I mean, it is a setback, but it's actually a green belt. So adjacent to any road, whether it's public or private, there's a requirement for a 50-foot green belt that's supposed to be nothing except landscaping, you know, grass. It's supposed to be green. I mean, so I could quickly try to look up the definition of green belt, but in essence, nothing's permitted in the green belt except landscaping. And so this isn't necessarily just a setback. This is the Park Road green belt that we're talking about. And it goes right up to the building, as the applicant mentioned.
Okay, but I guess where I'm coming from is, given that they've got something set up there, if we said no, does that prohibit them from throwing picnic tables out? I'm just trying to figure out what would in essence be a infringement versus, because I mean, there are a lot of places where you just go outside and there's a picnic table. I'm, what's the bound,
Does the green belt prohibit picnic tables?
Yeah, let me take a look at the definition of green belt, and I'll jump back on. So give me a minute and keep going, and I'll look that up. But I believe nothing can go there except green belt. So I would say, you know, picnic tables, umbrellas, that would without looking, I would say that's also prohibited. But let me take a look.
Or is it a landscape thing? Because we're proposing concrete, maybe we could brick pavers. I don't.
So are you saying something?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if brick pavers might be better than concrete. I don't know the green belt definition either, so.
Yeah, but that's not really the issue.
now we've shifted from what
Yeah,
we started at to something different. And
yeah. Mr. Shields, Mr. Kangas, do you have any questions of the applicant while we're waiting?
Again, it would be to Doug. I think we made some changes on the Boulevard Greenbelt. And I don't remember the circumstances of it.
We did make some changes that allowed properties to have to have their parking and building closer and encroach within that green belt, but that's specific to the Jackson Road Overlay District. So yes, you do remember that correctly.
I don't have any questions.
Oh,
So I'll read the definition of greenbelt if I could. So the definition of greenbelt from the zoning ordinance is, it says, means a landscaped area established at a depth of the minimum required front yard setback within a zoning district, which is intended to provide a transition between a public road right-of-way and an existing or proposed land use, and or between a conflicting land use and or existing or proposed land use. So it indicates a landscaped area. So yeah, again, you're right. We're kind of talking about something different than what the applicant's proposing, but you know, it would seem to me that in the past, we've looked at the green belt as it's only grass, trees, shrubs. That's it. I don't ever remember, allowing other things, because what's going to, let's say this is very successful and all of a sudden it becomes permanent. Again, we're kind of getting into something that may or may not happen.
Not sure what you mean there, Doug.
If they would actually, I'm assuming that if this patio area became something that was, successful or popular, that, if we said it was okay to just put some picnic tables out on the grass, well, 6, 8 months, a year, 2 years from now, all of a sudden it's permanent, and they've, things migrate over time. But again, I'm assuming that that could happen, and maybe it wouldn't happen.
landscape stone or landscape block count as landscape?
Um,
I guess, Doug, I'd ask a clarification again. So basically, anything north of the actual building is part of the greenway?
Yeah, the green belt, they're, and the applicant is correct, the right of way, expansion for Park Road does, it impacts this building, because now that's right up to the front of the building. So it's pretty much building north is green belt. The 50-foot green belt. It's almost exactly 50 feet. Maybe it's 49 feet, but it's almost exactly 50 feet.
On the document entitled Dimensional Site Plan Proposed Patio, which we've been using here, you have the area of the patio and sort of in the middle here and sort of a dotted area. There's also some dotted areas connecting it seem to be to the west, including some dotted area that seems to go north for a while and stop. What's all that about?
This area, yeah.
Yeah, there's a transformer, an existing transformer. DT put in there's a 5x5 patio. It's part of the,
A 5x5 what?
not a 5x5 space, concrete patio. It's part of the, frost.
Cross buddies.
Yeah.
There's
We have to have
emergency exit doors.
egress.
Here, I'll show you.
Okay, so this is,
Yeah, it's easier to show you. These are the doorways. And like, we have to get them out of the building. So these are sidewalks, how people get
Okay.
out.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I was kind of more concerned about whether there was any additional structure that's gonna be over there.
Oh, this is the transformer.
There will not be.
Yeah, this is the existing transformer there now. We just put concrete around it with pavement pad.
Understand. I don't see it as an issue. I just wanted to.
Okay. That's fine.
Unless someone else says so. What?
No, it's existing, it's there.
What's that?
I have a question for Doug.
Fire away.
Doug, I'd like some clarification in terms of this existing greenway. Like, what is the public purpose of maintaining that? What's the rationale for it?
For the green belt,
Green belt, yes.
it's a landscaped area that is provided to, provide some aesthetic quality to a project so that buildings, so that it's an area that landscaping can be placed. There are certain greenbelt landscaping standards that are kind of separate standards from the rest of the landscaping. So we have these green belts in all of the non-residential districts. They vary in width depending on if it's a commercial or industrial or office building. But it's a dedicated green space where vegetation, landscaping is to be installed, and there is certainly an aesthetic reason for that, or aesthetic, regulation there. So that, I mean, that's why it's there at this point. I'm sorry, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Does landscape block count as landscape, Doug?
It certainly could. I mean, landscape block, say, for example, entry to a subdivision that had, say, pave like a nice wall, like wing walls at each side of the entrance, and they were, landscaped in front of them. We would typically include those kinds of features as part of the landscaping. The brick pavers or the stone. Sometimes landscape architects will bring in boulders and then landscape around those things. So those would certainly, those physical items would be considered landscaping.
Any other questions of the applicant? Mr. Maynard, Mr. Adler, do you have anything further you'd like to add? This is your opportunity.
If the patio isn't acceptable in the green space, green belt, it sounds like it's not. Could we do landscape stone or block?
That's really not before us. You're asking us for,
Something different.
you're asking us for a patio for the use described.
Good.
It's really not before us.
Doug is here. I mean, hypothetically, he could ask Doug, just hypothetically.
I don't know. Where's the site plan right now? What
Site-
procedurally?
Site plan is waiting for the traffic impact study to be approved by the road commission. And then it'll be on the board's agenda for approval. We have our planners review, traffic or engineers review approved.
I think that's where it should be discussed.
I agree.
I mean, we can
Like,
do it here, but
No, I'm not saying we make a decision. I think just hypothetically, he could ask Doug's opinion. That's all.
Yeah, my opinion, for what it's worth, without seeing something, and it's always a little dangerous to make an opinion without seeing an actual plan. But I would, if I was the zoning administrator, because that's what this would come to, it would come to the zoning administrator, which is going to be Laura Krebs. And of course, I did the zoning administration for many years. I would not approve that if it came in with a bunch of brick pavers and patio stones with a well, with a picnic area. I would personally, you're asking my opinion, I would not approve that.
anything further, John? All set? Our procedure then is to ask for members of the ZBA to report on any site inspection and any conversations with the petitioner that may have occurred. Go around the table, Mr. Kangas.
And just drive by and talk.
No conversations with anyone? Mr. Shields?
Drive and walk by, no conversations.
Yeah, I went down there a couple of times, and discussed it with nobody.
I parked in the area west of the building and walked around the front, saw the landscaping, but I didn't speak with anyone.
Ms. Knoll?
I didn't go by and I did not speak to anybody.
The next item on the procedure is for any members of the public who support the petitioner may speak. There is no correspondence to be read. Who would like to speak in favor of the petitioner, if anyone? Seeing none, the next item of the procedure is for members of the public who oppose the petitioner. Oh, I'm sorry. Good point. Anyone online?
No.
Are there any members of the public who oppose the petitioner who care to speak at this time? Anyone? Seeing nothing, and there's no need for rebuttal since there's no other person speaking. Unless there's any further questions from the members of the ZBA, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Wall, seconded by Mr. Shields to close the public hearing. All those in favor say, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None, so the public hearing is now closed. At this point, the ZBA deliberates the request and decides the issue or may postpone it to a future meeting. Well,
You want me to start? Or would you like to start?
fire away. Your turn.
I like the concept. When we talk about the township and enjoying the outdoors, I think this fits. My concern is in being consistent with how we do things. We've said no to other items where they've backed up to common space, they've backed up to unbuildable lots, and we've said no. And if we're gonna be consistent, I have a hard time saying yes to this. Even though I would like to, I don't, you brought it up earlier, I don't have one of those gotcha moments where we're denying the applicant something that someone else in the area has. The other things, it doesn't harm anyone, it doesn't do all these, it's a good idea, it's just lacking that one thing of why denying, or why not granting this deprives them of something else in the area. And I haven't gotten past that.
I think he's exactly the same. I put it a little bit differently. When I read it first, I said, this is wonderful. Trying to take care of employees, it feels good. And then I got deeper into it and we have turned down lots of things that have smaller requests for setbacks than this. And I'm stuck there.
Mr. Kangas?
Pretty much the same thing. I know I've had some experience with Doug on the greenbelt issue, and I guess that needs to be explored a little bit by the applicant.
Meaning what?
Meaning that, you know, right now, they're not in sync with what the greenbelt is supposed to do.
Ms. Knoll, any thoughts you wish to express?
Well, I'm sympathetic to the applicant. But I hear what all of you are saying. So I don't know what my vote's gonna be, but I'm sympathetic to the applicant because the public purpose, I mean, this is the kind of thing we want to support in Scio Township, as others have said. It's not going to adversely impact others in the vicinity, I don't think. You're saying too.
You make, yeah, well, no, your point's well taken. However, here's the problem with that. We have criteria, as Mr. Walsh has said, as Mr. Shields has said, and as Mr. Kangas, I think, has implied. And the big single thing is, what are the exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applicable to this property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes of uses in the same district? And we have turned down other requests for setback. I don't think that I don't think that we can, if we're following the ordinance, which we're bound to do, say, this will be nice. This will be a nice thing to occur. But the ordinance isn't written that way. Now, if the Board of Trustees in their wisdom wishes to change the ordinance, they can do so. But otherwise, that's my major problem here. I don't see any exceptional or extraordinary circumstances. The building has been there for some period of time. I don't know exactly when, but it's been there. And they now want to expand it. Expand it out into the setback into, as Doug says, the green belt. But although the green belt, as described by Mr. Luan, is I think something that should be taken into account. I look at it at a more basic level, and that's a setback. And setbacks are there unless there's extraordinary circumstances, unless there's a need. And I'm not seeing that there. The final criteria under the ordinance also is whether it's a self-created hardship. And although the argument is there, I think that this really is self-created. I don't see that as a major issue to me. I think it just goes down to the accepted circumstances. That's my thoughts.
We're looking at reconfiguring parking.
Well,
That's part
I
of the
mean,
other.
that's and I understand the same thought had occurred to me, but I don't think that's our responsibility to do that.
Paying for them.
You know, that's one issue, yeah. on the other side of the coin. That particular area at the present time certainly is unbuildable.
It is.
But still, I mean,
That gets back to what I said, we've
I know.
had no,
I'm
I wanna say yes, I'll be blunt, I wanna say yes. I just don't know how to get there.
yeah, I'm trying to figure in my own mind, and I understand, I mean, that it's. Seems to me from years past, perhaps I'm in the realm of wondering out loud, but hasn't this property always been kind of a problem?
In what sense?
What was trying to be built there?
I do not know, but let's ask Doug. I don't think it's been a problem.
Building
Um,
itself, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't recall this being a problem necessarily. No.
What, was there another? Well, again, I think I'm going far afield here, but was there another project that was gonna go in here at some point?
Yep, there have been several projects and site plans that have gone
Okay,
that we've seen on this site
All right.
over the years.
perhaps that's going on.
Yeah.
Do we know, Doug, when the green belt ordinance was put in, and was it before or after the building was constructed?
It's not new.
Okay.
It's been around for many, many years.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Is there one last thing?
Yeah.
Well, then I solicit the motion.
I guess I propose one delay on that. I'm not against one more comment from the applicant, if that's acceptable to the
Oh,
rest.
I didn't even see that. Well, you guys wanted to say something else?
I just wanted to point out one thing, our biggest hardship on this is the taking of the roadway from the right of way from the road commission. Had that right of way been where it was previously, this wouldn't be an issue, it wouldn't be able to build this patio.
I know. I'm not following you.
If you look at, let me just show you something. Here on this drawing, show you. Road right away used to be up here.
When was that?
I don't know the date when it was taken. But you can see that this space is more than what we're asking for the patio.
Oh,
So literally,
unfortunately, it is what it is.
no, it's been that way for a while, but I'm just saying that is a hardship on this property to have that odd jog in two spots.
This makes the jogs like that.
Okay, anything else from anybody else? If not, let's list the motion.
I could add one thing if that's okay. I'll also mention in addition to what Mr. Maynard mentioned about the road commission, or the right of way widening, getting closer to this building, across Park Road is also owned by the road commission. And it's a very odd parcel. The development potential that is very questionable. And I would say, part of the whole idea of a green belt is to allow a green space so that buildings and facilities aren't right so very close to the road. In this particular case, because of the additional right of way and the fact that on the north side of Park Road is also owned by the road commission, and future development on that piece is very questionable, there's going to be a ton of green space to the north of this building that most other buildings don't have. And I kind of alluded to that in my comments, but maybe I didn't hit on that hard enough. But Just one more thought, as you go into your motion. Thank you.
Well, can I ask one other question then, Doug? If I'm looking at the Scio Township public hearing notices, the one that's just shows the plots and then the overhead, it shows on the north side an indent on the east. I'm assuming before the road commission or the right of way changed, that went straight across.
I don't know. I would assume that also, but I can't verify that.
Doug, were you saying with your comments that there's a likelihood that there will be additional green space to the north of this because the road commission probably can't do much with the property that they own?
Yes,
So in fact, the intent of our greenbelt ordinance might be met by this additional green area that would be maintained.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Of course, you're predicting the road commission.
Yes, I'm predicting the road commission. Yeah.
But at the moment, the area directly north isn't even shown as a plot. I mean, this section isn't noted as a,
Well, that's just that's just
but it's green.
yeah. I think you're still struggling with the central problem here.
Yeah, we are. The question is the change of the right of way sufficient as an
A potential change of this?
No,
It's been changed.
it's been changed. Has the change of the right of way, shifting things down, extenuating enough circumstance to say, do this? And we don't have any real details on it, so I'm not willing to say yay or nay at this point.
I've never asked a question like this before, but would it be possible in our minds for them to rewrite this with some of these new thoughts? And
To do what?
to rewrite their proposal with the discussion we've just had about the greenway,
Well, if
that
that's,
might be acceptable.
if that's gonna happen, it's gonna be a separate public hearing, a separate,
Absolutely.
separate costs,
Yeah,
separate,
well,
I
separate everything.
understand.
It's different.
I suppose you could do it. You could do it, do whatever.
Well, the other thing is we don't necessarily have to go back. We can just table this until we get a better answer on it. Then we don't have, we've had the public hearing.
A better answer as to what issue.
When was the right of way done? At what point? And, you know, and get the detail on this. Because there is a lot of space. The green belt. Is the idea of the green belt harmed? Given the change of the right of way and the fact that the right of way is all landscaped and has trees and everything else. I mean, we all drove. I don't know.
You certainly could postpone this, if you want to try to get an answer to that question, and that would not require them to have to go back through the public hearing process, because the variance won't be changing. It's the same, it's a 25-foot green belt setback variance. You're just asking for more information.
And maybe we could have a conversation with the road commission and see what their plans are on that property.
Good luck.
Got a pretty good relationship with them.
Well,
We could try.
good for you. Good. I hate to, never mind. Solicit a motion of any sort?
Go ahead. I'm gonna move to table until we get the information on the right of way.
Well,
Support.
let's be specific in your motion. I haven't, as it states now, it's kind of level. Let's get specific here. My suggestion, you can make that motion if you wish.
I'd like to table this to the next meeting where we have an actual meeting and we're not, or does it automatically go to the next scheduled meeting?
I don't know, you'll have to ask Doug. I've been told other things by the staff, so.
Yeah, I think this would, the public hearing was held today, so there's no requirement for another public hearing. And as long as it would be up to you guys to date specific the meeting. So the next meeting, if you want it at your November meeting, you have to do it date specific, then you don't have to rehear it. If you don't do it a date specific meeting, then there may be a requirement to rehear it.
Well, if we do it for a November hearing, for example, Doug, and there's no other matters before us, who has to pay the costs?
Well, those are, you might want to talk to or township administration on that. I don't know that. I'm just
I
talking
have-
about the legality of the notice. There's no requirement.
I have had the conversation.
Yep.
That's the attitude
the problem.
of the administration. I'm sorry. And I honor that, and I understand that, in fact, if it goes to a date certain and it's the only thing on the agenda, then somebody has to pay for it, and otherwise the taxpayers have to eat another cost.
Let's take a step back then. Is the right of way information gonna change anyone's?
I don't think so, not for me.
Right,
No, although it would be even harder to decide what I think is the right, given the facts that we have,
all right.
to vote that way, but I would still vote the same way.
I would want to hear from the road commission.
I don't think we're gonna hear from the roads commission, but
Well, it can be done. Right, Doug?
Doug can.
You You certainly can ask. We certainly can ask.
That's getting into what they're gonna do with their property. For me, the item is if the applicant lost space due to the change in the right of way, that's potentially an extenuating circumstance.
Otherwise, no one knows.
Well, what happens if that was done well before the construction of the existing building? How does that change?
Then it doesn't.
Logically.
Then it doesn't, but the question, we don't have that information, I pull back my very vague table, and I'll let someone else go forward.
I want to have dialogue with the applicant.
About what?
Well, I would like to know, given this information that's been discussed,
What specifically?
well, the fact that there probably will be a lot of undeveloped greenbelt property in the vicinity. And what does the applicant want to do? And maybe
The applicant has been given every opportunity to present whatever evidence the applicant desires. And if you're asking, I don't hear anything about the road right of way issue, so that apparently is not of concern.
it is of concern. He had already expressed it
Well,
though.
then,
Just because I didn't express it doesn't mean it's not of
So-
concern to me.
so what do you ask of the applicant then?
Given the dialogue he's heard tonight, what would he want to do?
Oh, what?
This proposal, See, I mean, we can deny it. I mean, it sounds like it's headed to denial and then I guess that's his choice, but
The applicant was asked what would be done in the event it was denied. That question has been asked. I understand you're struggling with it because you think that it would be a good idea to do it. My problem still, as Mr. Walsh initially suggested here, is that we've turned down requests for setbacks on other stuff that really doesn't, in my opinion, raise to this level. So what makes this different? But y'all can make your motions, and if you wish to make a motion like that, Ms. Knoll, make it formally and we'll go from there.
We've modified green belt before.
what did you say, Jerry?
We've modified what you can do in the green belt before in terms of taking parts of it. On Jackson Boulevard, you know, granted, it's under the boulevard, but
The
still,
overlay district, you mean?
yeah, but we've done it.
Can I ask one thing real quick, just a clarification?
We're really,
I just want to know if with a denial,
this
you can still
man,
bring it back, right?
for this, very briefly, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to know with a denial, we can still bring the application back, correct? It's not like.
An application, if it's the same thing as this one, and if it's denied and it's the same thing as this one, I would say my offhand opinion, no, but I suppose you could ask. I mean, it's what it's what you might call res judicata or law of the case, take your pick. I mean, if you've already made a decision, you come back with the same request with no changes, to me, it's,
Oh, yeah, we would come back.
I don't think he's, well. I
There'd
don't-
be changes.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess that's
If we
the question.
could figure something out.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let me clarify that. For a variance that has been denied wholly or in part by the Board of Appeals, it shall not be resubmitted for a period of 365 days from the date of denial, except on grounds of new evidence or changed conditions found by the Board of Appeals. So you would have to provide new evidence, and the Board of Appeals would have to accept that as new evidence.
Hypothetical question, Doug. If the applicant thinks this is going to denial, can they withdraw their application before we vote to get around that 365?
I suppose they could, because all it says is if you've denied it. So if there's no action, that's not a denial.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, I'm still not gonna propose tabling.
as I've said before, I would solicit a motion.
I think you're the big advocate.
Well, I was hoping they might consider withdrawing the application. I'm not gonna make a motion to table because I don't think there's support here and I'm,
Okay, so we'll make a motion to withdraw our application.
That's so unusual, Mr. Luan, that I'm gonna have to ask you for your opinion as to whether that's appropriate after the close of a public hearing.
Typically, a withdrawal would occur at the beginning of the hearing and not at the end of the hearing. I agree that's unusual. So I would just say that would be as so unusual that I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Is it illegal?
But
I
you
don't
have no, but you have no reason to say that an applicant absolutely could not do that at this stage before a vote.
I do not.
All right, any other comment from any of the ZBA members on that issue, which is not in our rules of procedure? At least not that I know.
I'd be comfortable with it.
They come back with new information. It's a new public hearing. Everyone gets to hear this.
Well, they're withdrawing it, so it's not.
No, it's nothing. It's essentially nothing. I
We have-
agree.
All right, well, then. I guess really we solicit a motion to accept the withdrawal of the application. Is that appropriate?
We're in uncharted territory, no, but I'll, willing to make that motion.
Go ahead.
I would move that the ZBA accepts the withdrawal, I don't have the name in front of me, the developer, but,
Variance 25003.
yeah, yeah.
2500.
I was reading off the Carlisle ordinance, sorry.
I believe it's two.
On the agenda, it's 25002.
All right, we'll use 25002. So your motion is to accept the applicant's withdrawal of the request for variance number 25002. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Knoll, seconded by Mr. Kangas to accept. Let's do a roll call on that.
Is there any discussion briefly?
Any discussion? Yes, any discussion?
I don't see how this harms the public. I just want to make that comment, so it's on.
Okay,
It might, but I can't at the moment see how Scio Township residents in any way are harmed by allowing the applicant to withdraw.
okay. Any other comment? All right, call the roll.
Hoth,
Yes,
Walsh,
Yes.
Kangas,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Shields, yes.
okay, by 5-0, we accept the withdrawal of the application. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for
Thank
your
I
time.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, we have on the next item on the agenda. Variance number 25003, and I may mispronounce the name, forgive me in advance if I do. Eichel Johnson, Scott, and Suzette Mariotti, 3477 Timberwood, H-08-12-345-005, to allow reduction of required front yard setback from 50 feet to 36 feet due to elevation change within the parcel in accordance with section 36-75. Let me just quickly go through the procedures again. It's been a while since we did that. Just
Pronunciation, by the way.
thanks. I open the public hearing by announcing the subject of the appeal, the petition, by identifying the applicant's name, case number, specified request, and general location, subject property, which I do now open the public. I then summarize the procedures and rules to be followed during the hearing, which I'm doing right now. I will then call upon the petitioner or the petitioner's representative to present statements in support of the appeal along with any supporting evidence. After that, the petitioner, his or her agent or attorney may present his or her case, including presenting witnesses on his or her behalf. After that time, members of the ZBA shall report on their site inspection and any conversations with the petitioner they may have had. After which time, members of the public who support the petitioner may speak. We have no correspondence to be read, unless we get some in the meantime. After that, members of the public who oppose the petitioner speak and any correspondence is read. After that time, a chairperson may permit the petitioner rebuttal within limits set by the chairperson. Chairperson, upon motion of any ZBA member, announces the close of the public hearing and announces continuation of the public hearing to another specified time and date. If the hour is late or additional pertinent information must be obtained, after which time the ZBA deliberates the request and decides the issue, or if a majority of members decide more information or clarification is needed, the issue may be postponed to a future meeting. That being said, could the petitioner or petitioners or whoever is going to be speaking, please introduce themselves for us, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Scott Eichel Johnson.
Thank you.
And I'm Suzette Mariotti.
Thank you. Who wishes to go first?
I'll go first, and I am prepared to share the presentation on the Zoom, although I don't seem to have permission.
Raise your hand.
Raise my- Okay. Thank you, sir. So this is a request to reduce our front yard setback from 50 feet to 36 feet and 8 inches. And we have a number of diagrams that'll make it clear exactly how this fits into the site and the surrounding area. The purpose of this is to locate the garage, so it can be accessed from a driveway that connects to the street at a reasonable elevation. As you'll see, this is a very challenging site from a topography standpoint. And I believe you all have a copy of this drawing, so that you can see it in closer up. The purpose of showing this, and this is in landscape mode, so the north is to the west, to the left of this drawing in this view, just to fit it all on one screen. And these arrows are meant to just give you an idea of the changes in elevation that take place across the site. So on the north side of the site, we have a private road. This private road is how we would access the property. Above that in the drawing here, this goes down Timberwood Lane and out to Huron River Drive. Going down the road, there are only 2 other houses past our lot on this drive. 2 driveways come off of that, and that's the end of the road. So essentially, only us and 2 other property owners will be actually seeing this site and driving past it. Over the width of our property, actually, I should mention this road was actually taken out of our property on an easement. So this line here, on the other side of the road, is the extent of our property line. And so that's approximately 65 feet of the north side of the property that was used up for the road and the easement that goes with it. Going up the street, we see an elevation change of 15 feet along the road. If you look across the entire width of our property adjoining the road, there's an elevation change of 24 feet. If you look down the hill, and that's Honey Creek on the right there, we have a very sharp drop off of 20 feet on the east side of the property, down 36 feet on the west side of the property over a pretty short run. If you look around the Honey Creek area, there's a blue line in this drawing. Everything to the right of that line is floodplain for Honey Creek. So we cannot build there, of course. Above that, there is a line that shows a rear setback above the floodplain, which hits about halfway up that rise that you see there in the middle. And then we can go into more detail zooming in on the rest of the property where the house can actually be sited in this view. And so in this view, north is up again, and we have the proposed outline or footprint of the house. I want to note that in that flat area behind the house, just north of the floodplain setback, is really the only appropriate place to place a septic field on this site.
Can I stop you
Yes,
just
sir.
for a second on this drawing? I just want to double check which way is north. North is,
Is up in this drawing, sir.
got it, all right. Sorry, you're talking north and whatnot. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I understand it. We had to change the orientation to fit it in the slide. So Toward the bottom of this drawing, you can see the siting of the septic field. That's really the only place that it can be sited. It's the only level ground below where the house would be. So that's also constricting how far back in the lot the house can be sited. The variance that we're requesting is highlighted in green. It's that little triangle of the garage. And the reason for that is so that we can site the driveway to come in at a reasonable topography off the road and across the site. And at an angle where the cars could actually enter and exit the driveway
Safely.
safely. The main part of the house, in fact, the entire frontage of the house there is actually 75 feet back from the setback. So it's really just that one triangle that is at variance here. I can tell you that this is the culmination of roughly a year worth of iterations of this plan. We have looked at many, many different options and have done everything we can to minimize the area that we need the variance for. And this seemed to be the best approach that we could come up with. But it did still require that small amount of variance to get the corner of the garage in there. Here's a satellite view, just so you can maybe just, I don't know if that helps to see what we're talking about in terms of the topography. And it is worth noting that there is some precedent here. One of the neighboring sites also had a similar issue, we believe, and so that is also built fairly close to the setback line on that side of the property as well. And essentially this neighborhood, this part of this neighborhood has this issue because of the ridge that runs through it.
With, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
With any additional drawings shown, you know, electronically, so to speak, without a submission to us, I've always struggled in the past, try to figure out how to put it in the record. In the future, if it ever happens again, we're gonna have to see this in some sort of drawing form for keeping the record straight. What's the purpose of the overhead or the satellite shot here?
It was another view and also just to show that an adjacent site had a similar issue and was granted a similar variance.
Or was built that,
It was given another variance?
we don't know that for sure.
Oh,
We do know that it was built close to their own property line, closer than we're proposing to do.
Which property?
It's this one to
Do
the
you have
right.
the address? And the reason I ask is I went up there and it's very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Where everything is.
Yes, sir.
The
I
address
don't
there is,
wanna sound comical, but I did. It's pretty bad.
the address of that neighbor is 3453 Kenbrook.
3450.
In fact, that homeowner is here tonight.
Yes, and we hope you didn't mind us using their sites. Okay, should we proceed, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please, go ahead.
So we do have a couple of other pictures or renderings, not sure if you have them. This shows what it is today. This is what you would have seen driving up there.
Yeah, we don't have them either.
Is it okay to still show them?
In the for what it's worth department, it's just, I don't have a good answer for it. I don't know how to do this.
It's trying to give us a visual.
No, I understand, but for purposes of the record, that's the record, right, Ms. Knoll?
Yep. We can certainly submit this in whatever form you'd like.
Well, yeah, I'd like to know how.
I think it's just an electronic.
It's an electronic thing, but how do we submit it?
send.
Perhaps this isn't the one where we have to spend a lot of time on this issue.
Okay.
Your renderings are fine. Let's proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. So on this side, you can see this is going up the road, which is up the hill. On the right side, you can see a picture of essentially what you might theoretically see once the house is built according to the proposed plan. It will become clearer in one of the renderings we have coming up, but The house is built going down the hill. All you can really see from the road is a garage, which is a top level of the house. It is a garage and an entryway. The bulk of the house sits below the crest of the hill behind that and isn't really visible from the road. And again, this has to do with the topography of the site. This is looking down the road in the other direction from how we just were. So this is from the corner of the lot, which would be the northwest corner along the private road. Again, behind us, the road ends with two other driveways coming off of it, and that's the extent of the road and of the people that would be driving past this site. To the right, you can see what, again, that might look like once the house is built according to the proposed plan. This is an overhead view to give you a sense of that. On the left side, we're looking north. This is the road that we've been talking about here. So you can see the orientation of the garage is to allow the driveway to come off the road and into the garage. You can see how the bulk of the house here is farther down and again is not really visible even from the road. It's just this upper area, which is the garage and a small entryway that we have. To the right, you can see the same view looking west.
Could you submit these drawings by email to the township? Who should it go to, Doug?
Send it to Fran.
Yes, Teresa.
Well, she's out.
That's okay.
Oh,
Come to you? Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Sir, I'm being told by our architect who's here that we might have already done that.
I know these drawings?
Yes, Teresa emailed them and got confirmation back that they were acceptable to be shown tonight.
The problem is, we don't know anything about them. They're more extensive than I thought. It's just for purposes of the record, and I want to make sure, perhaps you could resend them to, and do you know what Fran's email address is?
It's F, am I write down?
Yeah, I will take a note of that. 1 second. Okay, Fran at,
No, F,
oh, F,
just F,
yes,
SZUMA at Scio Township, MI.gov.
okay.
That's F as in Frank, S as in Sierra, Z as in Zulu.
You.
You, it was uniform. M as in
Got it confirmed.
Michael and
Okay.
Okay, if
Found it in our
you could
email.
do that, I
Thank
very
you.
much appreciate, so we can have this part of the record.
Sure,
Thank you.
happy to do that.
Just to be clear, it's Scio Township, Michigan, MI.
We've got it, Scio Township, MI.
MI.org. Or dot, yeah, okay. Got it. So I think I've already said everything here. I don't want to make you read the slide, but again, we've considered many other options here. We've really tried to minimize the need for the variance, but given the topography of the site and the need to site a driveway connecting the garage to that road and the elevation changes that it has, we really struggle to find any other way. Most of the other options we looked like result in the house becoming wider, which also results in the grading, pushing groundwater out to the sides onto neighboring properties, which we're trying to avoid. The way we've done it here, we can have the grading around the house, carry the water from up the hill down past the house within our property lines to the creek. And that's one thing we're conscious of and are trying to respect for our neighbors. And that's the end of it. So that's the summary of our request.
Okay. I'm not sure whether this is completely relevant, but when I was up there looking at the site, I was trying to figure out where it was. But the
Understandable.
problem I saw, and I'm not sure this has anything to do with your variance necessarily, but I didn't see either there's an initial cul-de-sac, but then the road goes further up. I see no cul-de-sac past that.
There isn't.
And I don't see a T intersection where a fire truck could back in and turn around, come back. Is that correct?
The neighbors up the hill have a circular driveway that they've allowed us to use, which is within the fire department's guidelines. And I'm familiar with those due to other business. It
Well,
would be big
boy,
enough within their radius to turn a fire truck up the hill.
cause again, I don't wanna go far afield, but when I was there, I looked for another truck. I would have a truck.
You would have had to go up one of the other,
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see
And I
it.
had to go up, and I had a choice of going at the end, one way or the other.
that's right.
And I chose the one that was a little, looked to me, I could see that it goes down to the house. It was very difficult to turn around there. I don't think that can't be.
The one I'm talking about is the one that goes up. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that's a pre-existing, I mean, we're the newest
No.
property owners in this subdivision.
I understand, but that was my first impression of the whole thing. It was difficult. In addition, and I think this is far afield, but for my own benefit, where does I seem to think that there was a problem with either GFL or Priority picking up trash there. Is that because is that, if you know?
We don't know, there are some neighbors here tonight that might be able to answer that.
Well, if they're signed up to speak, then we
They are.
can ask them. But I have a funny feeling one of the issues was that the driver probably didn't know to go beyond the cul-de-sac. But we'll find out that. And again, I don't think it has anything to do with this.
It's a challenging site in many ways.
Questions?
I have one humorous one. Snow, ice.
I grew up in Pittsburgh on a hill very similar to this. And yeah, we had a long track record of winters getting up and out.
So
And I grew
my
up-
serious question is the one that your neighbors, soon-to-be neighbors, are gonna answer, and that is, I thought it was a fabulous proposal. I'm very comfortable with it, but I wanted to know what the neighbors thought.
Fair enough. What did you say?
We'll get to that. I guess for me, having used Angelini for our internal. One of the things that was brought up in the Carlisle Workman, what were the other opportunities? And just looking at it, again, it was very hard to figure out, though the stakes gave some idea of. You said you went wider, but did you end up, when you're actually, if you push, assuming the same design, at least up top, did you have to then fill in part if you're pushed back?
Yeah, so the obvious thing to do would be to try to push the house back,
Yeah.
but then we would be covering up the area where the septic needs to go. So instead of pushing back, we would have to change the layout of the house and go, and maybe our architect could address that question more, I guess, better than we
What
can.
I'm
but-
getting at is, it's not necessarily the house, it's the garage. Do
Right.
you end up having drain problems around, because it's, at least looking at it, it seemed like you then crest over the hill a bit.
Mhm.
So would you then have to fill in, or do you just take the top of the hill off to keep it? I'm trying to understand if you actually had to push back to meet what you would have to do to the terrain to make it so that it's not an impossibility on the driveway and the garage of.
Is it all right to ask our architect
Yes,
to
no,
address that?
he's, yeah, stand up, he's sworn.
There's fill between the
Could you
house and
identify yourself for the record, please?
Don McDonald.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. McDonald.
So a lot of the house is dug into the site, but there is then fill sort of between the driveway and that wall of the house. Just so that we can create a flat spot for cars to turn around. Otherwise, it would just be downhill right into the house, and we gotta be able to get the water around.
And I think most of the other options we looked at would have either resulted in much longer and higher retaining walls needing to be built along the road.
Right, or wider house that then pushes the water.
Elsewhere.
Yeah,
No, I was just curious about if you had to meet the setback, particularly up by the garage area, because to me, that just seemed the biggest. You can do a lot of things down below, and I hadn't thought of the water, but I was just trying to envision getting from the shared driveway into your driveway, into the garage, if you were pushed back 15 more feet or so.
Would be a definite challenge geometrically and skilled driver wise. And as you say, snow.
Are there any other locations for either the septic field or the expansion field other than these two?
Oh, this site was originally platted out in 1987, and that was the only spot identified then. Since then, we've had engineering that has confirmed that that's the only place suitable for a septic and expansion field.
It may be worth noting that we've had to have geoengineers actually look at our plans, not just normal structural engineers. And in fact, we had to make a number of significant changes to the design because they said if we didn't, the house would likely end up sliding down the hill and into Honey Creek, which we would
We
like
don't
to
want that.
avoid.
So you couldn't really go any significant distance south from your proposed location
Yes, sir.
because of a little bit of elevation change, but more importantly, the septic fields. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You couldn't move the house to the west from your plan because of really look to be extreme elevation problems, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then same thing, maybe to a lesser degree to the northeast.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we really feel kind of boxed in.
And you couldn't go north or southeast because again, elevation, right?
Yes, sir.
On the drawing marked, Mariotti Eichel Johnson Residence, 3477 Timberwood, Ann Arbor, Michigan. There's a circle around the house, basically. What's that? What's that showing?
it's the well isolation from a septic, field.
Oh.
Just showing us where we can
Has to be that.
drill a well so that,
Where's the well gonna be?
right off the driveway, between the driveway and the house.
At the
Oh, right
center of
there.
that.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, yeah.
Could you put that up, please? Let me see it. Can you please?
Yes.
So I did have a request from somebody watching it to have the view of the board up there if they weren't using it anymore, if they were done.
Say that again, I'm losing the thread.
Somebody texted me and asked, since we thought they were done using her PowerPoint materials. I went up and asked her could you show the regular formatted picture of the CPA report? But if they're not done, go ahead and can put it back up. You raise your hand again?
Thank you.
Just trying to get some of it in.
Seem to have lost the Zoom window that lets me through.
And the only area which is in violation of setbacks is that essentially triangular area to the northernmost part of the garage.
That's correct, sir.
That's correct.
And the setback is required to be 50 and you're requesting it to be 36 feet, 8 inches.
Yes, sir.
So, Anything further for us at this point?
Not from us, sir.
Okay, great. Are there any further questions to the applicant at this point from the board? All right, the next item on our rule of procedure is for members of the ZBA to report on site inspection and any conversations with the petitioner. Let's go around the board from that end. Ms. Knoll?
I did not visit the site, nor have I talked to petitioner.
I visited the site, but did not discuss with anyone in the neighborhood.
I went up there twice, once because I couldn't figure out where anything was. And then after coming into the township and looking again, I went back. And pulled into somebody's driveway, I guess. I made it out without any conversations. Mr. Shields?
I made it in and out without any conversations either.
Mr. Kangas?
Didn't visit the site.
All right, are there any members of the public who support the petitioner care to speak? Come forward, sir, and could you tell us your name for the record, please, and your address if you're a neighbor?
Steve Feinberg, 3498,
What's the last name?
Feinberg, F like in Frank, EIN, B like in boy, ERG.
Go ahead, Mr. Feinberg.
And sir, you went down my driveway.
I'm sorry.
Probably
I had
not
a
the
choice,
first
but I didn't know which
No, it's
was,
okay, it's okay.
what's the easiest way to do it.
I didn't have a shotgun out there.
I didn't see anybody, so I thought I escaped without any.
I could probably answer a lot of your questions more because we've lived there since 1990.
Where's the turnaround? Well, first of all, where's the garbage truck go?
The garbage truck usually backs up to,
Oh,
to where their driveway is going to be,
yeah.
I don't use priority anymore because I was involved with GFL and everything. I take care of my own garbage. But my neighbor who goes up
Right.
instead of down, drags all their ones down and basically puts it where their driveways are gonna be.
Yeah, it's a difficult area.
Very much so.
They must have had a problem, cause I thought I saw it on the list of complaints and something. And the complaint was a good one. Because the driver apparently didn't know to go beyond the cul-de-sac.
That's why I don't use them anymore.
And well, you can't blame the driver. I mean, the driver.
I am not blaming it, so I
You
took
don't.
matters into my own hands and I take care of my own garbage and
That's
recycle.
fine. That's fine.
Simple,
That's fine.
other than dealing with that, so.
So you're in support of this?
And we have a turnaround, our driveway, when you go down at the bottom, you might have seen that there's a Y off on one end that allows people to back in and then back out. And we have like a half court, a basketball court I put in, that gives you enough to turn around.
Oh, maybe that's where I was.
Yeah, so vehicles can turn around there.
I had a big truck. I didn't run on your lawn though.
I probably have a photo of you.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I was so nice about backing up. I had the camera and everything, so I could see. But yeah, it's to me, it was a concern because fire truck, that's really what, or ambulance. I mean.
Well, we moved in there and it had to be a big truck. They usually back down. The ones that can't turn around, back down.
That's very difficult.
And we've had ambulances come down there too. So my father visited me a long time ago. He had a massive MI. So,
This has nothing to do with the application. We're far afield on that one. But you do support this?
yeah, the only concern which I think they've addressed is that there's a lower easement that you can get in and not taking the road. There's an easement that is parallel to the road. But they mentioned that they go that route, which is the same level as the cul-de-sac is at, then they have to build a retaining wall. So I think they brought that up. And that's the only other alternative that I was aware of before they even bought the lot. That was made to me. The other thing which I think they addressed as a concern is I've had issues with people that hold it. When they changed their landscape, everything, all the water was coming down on my house. So I had to put in a French drain and the whole thing. As long as they've addressed the water issues, things of that, the drainage, then I'm very comfortable.
I have a question. When was the subdivision started? Do you know?
I built my house in 90, I would think it'd be mid to late 80s.
Our documents say 87.
Yeah, so when,
Mr. Luan, would you have recommended approval of this subdivision back then?
Hypothetically,
Hypothetically, that road would have had, as you alluded to, Chairperson Oth, that road would have had to have a cul-de-sac. So this predates our current private road ordinance for sure. But no, if this was a brand new development, not that we wouldn't approve a development here, but the road would have had to have had a cul-de-sac on the end of it.
Just curious. Again, I don't think this has anything to do with this variance. I don't think. Okay, thank you, Mr. Feinberg. Anything else?
no,
Are there any other members of the public who support the petitioner care to speak? Come on forward, sir. Could you identify yourself by your name and address if you're a neighbor particularly?
Yes, I'm the other neighbor, name is Rumi Nusrat, last name is spelled N as in Nancy.
Spell.
N as in Nancy, USRAT. Think of it as a newspaper reading, a rat reading a newspaper, news rat. How's that?
Newsrat. Very good.
That might help you remember it.
Go ahead,
Spelling
Mr.
correct.
Newsrat. Tell us.
So we live on 3453 Timberwood Lane, which is adjacent and lower. And I'm speaking mostly to get educated because I don't really understand what's going on and don't pretend to have any knowledge. But three things came to my mind. One is, to keep the record straight, there was an observation made during our neighbor's statement that one of the houses next door had a variance for access and showed a first satellite photograph. This is not meant to be critical. I just want to be very, very careful and just give the facts straight. The house below, if it was in the satellite picture, is not our house. Because our house is a very, very long driveway. So I doubt if any variance could be granted, maybe to somebody else's house, or I could be wrong.
But you didn't
So
see.
you couldn't have a piece, it's a very long driveway.
Right, I understand that. It's not about the driveway. We were just talking about the proximity to the lot line, to which you probably consider a side road or a side lot.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
goes to the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
It's okay.
But you didn't get a variance.
No.
Okay.
No. The other question that comes to mind is really something for education only, because I happen to be a neighbor. The property is gonna be uphill from us. Does the township care whether the drainage system will affect us? Because I was sitting there and saying, oh, will the drainage system affect us? And I'm clueless.
That's a good question. Actually, I've had that question before. And I don't know what the answer is. The question is, does Mr. Nusrat, as you're saying, does the township care? My guess is that they don't, because I don't think they do elevation. They don't require elevation drawings for new stuff. That's what I've been told. Am I wrong?
Well, I think they care.
Well, they may care, but as far as, is it a requirement, does the township really get involved in that?
Well, Carlisle Wortman does the planning review. And in some cases, OHM does a review, but I don't know what the criteria are for them to get involved.
For a single home, single residence?
There's usually a neighborhood. Doug, do you know offhand what the criteria are for OHM to get involved?
I think they would have to be specifically asked in a, you know, in a unique circumstance. And Laura, or when I was doing it, would have had to, something would have, you know, been raised as a red flag for us to ask for some additional information. But yeah, I would agree with both, you know, both of you guys. Yes, we do care, but do we review grading for individual single family lots? Usually not.
But set your mind at ease. We are taking that into account during the design process with our architect to make sure that our drainage does not affect you.
Yeah, I think I just need to be very neutral about this.
Very well,
Because you have neighbors and bad feelings are not what I'm looking for. So let me be very clear about that. But you know, one day I wake up and there are gonna be neighbors there and there's this steep property right next to it. I said, oh, okay. You know, and I'm not, so I'm checking with folks. I'm gonna be a little off topic. They said this can get very adversarial. Do we need to find a lawyer to check their development? Or will the township do it?
Well, you mean as far as
The drainage.
drainage?
Yes, because the question
Well,
is,
as Mr.
will their
Lamont
house affect
says,
that? I have no idea.
I can tell you as far as this board goes.
Yes.
I think I'm correct in this, let me know if I'm not. We take into account elevation, but we don't get into the minutia of drainage in most cases. In fact, I can't remember a case where drainage was an issue for the zoning board.
Is there an ordinance on it? And we're here for variance for an ordinance.
Yeah,
I don't know how we'd be involved.
we would normally not be, I can't, unless, well, I mean, if there's a real issue and it requires evidence of some sort. For example, you could bring evidence in opposition. But you're coming here supporting the applicant at this point.
I preface it by saying I'm neutral.
Okay. I understand.
Because I'm on such a steep part of the learning curve that I'm a little clueless when I open my mouth. Because
Yeah,
it was obvious to me sitting in the back saying, oh, you're the neighbors, where does the water go? Does it come towards us? If it does, I need to know that.
as far as this board goes, and I can only really talk about this one.
Yes.
It's not, to me, it's not an issue because there's nothing shown here making it an issue.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I understand that this is not of interest to the board. The board has other
It's
priorities.
not of interest. I mean, we're interested, but it's not our purview.
Yes,
It's not what we're supposed to do.
absolutely, yeah. So I can spread this one out myself.
And if I can help put your mind at ease, when we are working on this project, we follow the assumption that we're not going to send any more water off the site toward your house than what is currently occurring. So any new grading
So that's.
is not gonna add water to your site.
That's for both sites, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We're lower now
Yeah.
than
Right.
your house.
Yeah.
We're at a lower elevation.
Something about assumptions that I'm not gonna go into. But fair enough, I think that's fair. I was also curious about the fire issue, the fire truck issue. That also raised the question, said, oh, if there's an event up there and they have difficulty controlling it, God forbid, we're not hoping for that to happen, ever, period. That affects us too, so is
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's a, you know,
Well, again, it's not,
we are in the zone of climate change. Things that never happened will happen now, so, well, it's a question. Is there a zoning for the trucks, for the fire trucks? Is there a law that says,
well, there's. Mr. Luan, could you give a short overview of the township's role as far as fire response to subdivisions such as this?
I can give a little background on, you know, private roads, and private roads have to be built in a way that allows fire access. This road was apparently built before our current private road standards. Otherwise, there'd be a cul-de-sac at the end. Other than that, I don't know, what the fire department would do in the case of, needing to get a large tanker type vehicle back to any of the properties, not just the applicant's property, but to the existing properties. That would be a good question for the township fire chief. But I don't know. This is not necessarily a unique situation. There are a number of existing non-conforming private roads throughout the township. So this wouldn't certainly be the first time that something like this would happen. So I would guess that the fire chief would have a pretty readily available answer to that question, but I don't know that answer.
Fair enough, Mr. Newsrat?
So we can ask the fire chief.
Pardon?
So we
Yes.
can ask the fire chief.
Yeah, you
That's
can, yeah. But this board has a very narrow.
Yes, I understand. Thank you so much for letting me speak. But then I'm neutral on this because I'm really on a very steep part of the learning curve and actually just want to have good neighbors, that's all. And at the same time, be safe.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who support the petitioner who desire to speak? Is there anybody
We
online
have one online.
who desires to speak?
Brian?
Yes.
Pardon?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Could you identify yourself,
Sure.
for the record, plus your address, please?
Sure. This is Brian Shodoroff, Chodoroff, first name Brian, Brian, 3319 Timberwood. Second house up from here on River Drive. I'm here speaking on behalf of our neighborhoods, the Wildwood Homeowners Association. We have an architectural committee that is responsible for reviewing site plans and other issues relating to new construction and other homeowners association issues. Our architectural committee carefully reviewed the site plan and fully supports the requested variance. We believe
Thank you.
we believe it is the right thing for the property and the right thing for the neighborhood. Without
Thank you.
question.
Okay. Any questions of this witness at all?
No, but I did have a comment. Jillian reminded me that county water resources is involved in some of the reviewing of single-family homes in terms of grading. So there is some oversight with the county. How much, I don't know.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Okay, any other persons desiring to support the applicant either here or on Zoom?
No.
Nothing? Okay. At this point, are there any members of the public who oppose the petitioner desire to speak? No one here. What about online? Nothing?
No.
Nothing, okay. I guess I could permit the petitioner rebuttal, but is there anything you need to say based upon what has been brought out?
I don't think so. We'll just reemphasize that, working with our architects, our goal is not to send any water onto our neighbors that they are not already receiving through drainage.
Any other questions of the applicant?
Is the water gonna be stored on your property?
No, it's about how we grade and drain around the house, and I am not qualified to speak on that, but.
Yeah, no, it's still flowing down toward Honey Creek, just we're not gonna send any more left or right off the property than what currently does.
Anybody else? All right, I'll solicit a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support. Moved by Mr. Shields, supported by Mr. Walsh to close the public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? All right, the public hearing is closed. This time we'll deliberate. Deliberate. Mr. Walsh?
I've got no problem with this. I think between the topography, the easement pushes them further down the slope, the limitations on the septic field, that it is a buildable lot, and that's what the township envisions it as. The homeowners association accepts it. This seems like a no-brainer to me. I'd support this.
I would just add that we also have the support of neighbors.
Yeah.
Directly, as opposed to just the HOA, so. I fully support this.
I support it too, for the reasons stated.
Yeah, I, for the reasons stated by Mr. Walsh, I support it as well. I can't emphasize too much, having been out there, the steep elevation changes that are involved. I mean, the drawings show it, but until you've been out there, you don't really appreciate it.
The statement of fact should include severe topography, not just topography.
Yeah.
Can I add that?
And those are the extraordinary circumstances that apply in this case that would not ordinarily apply anywhere else. That's, that's a real problem out there. I can't imagine what else could really be done. I suppose you could limit the garage, but, you know, try to bring it in there, but then it becomes a very small garage. And really wouldn't be up to today's standards. Of what a garage really is.
We've had that discussion before that 2-car garage is pretty much a standard.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the alternatives just aren't there that I can see. And with the fact that, there's no opposition to this by any of the neighbors, and the homeowners association has approved it, not to give a homeowner association, you know, the power to say yay or nay on a variance, because I don't think, they don't at all, really. But, it's important, I think, to know that at least the neighbors have looked at it and, have okayed it. That goes a long way with me. So. Shall somebody speak up?
I'm willing to make a motion.
You are? What kind of motion?
Motion to approve.
Go ahead.
All right. First, Scott, is your last name Moretti also, or?
No, it is Eichel Johnson. It's a
Okay,
mouthful.
just like, all right. Thank you for pronouncing it. I didn't catch it when you introduced yourself.
No worries.
Probably have spelled it before and pronounced it.
Every time.
In the matter of variance number 25003, Thomas Scott, Michael Johnson, and Suzette Mariotti at 3477 Timberwood, H-08-12-345-005 to allow reduction of the required front yard setback from 50 feet to 36 feet due to severe elevation change within the parcel. And in accordance with section 36-74, Schedule of Regulation of Scio Township zoning ordinance, that the request variance should be granted due to the following findings of fact. The applicant proposes construction of a new home at 3477 Timberwood Drive, a 1.8 acre lot in the Wildwood subdivision. It would be the last lot developed. The northern portion of the proposed site is encumbered with an ingress, egress, and public utility easement. The easement serves as an extension of the Timberwood Drive and serves as a private road to the existing houses to the west of the parcel. The northern portion of the applicant's parcel is measured from here. The proposed 2,500 square foot house is relatively small compared to others in the Wildwood section. The home will be set back into the hillside and have relatively small footprint, which will be unobtrusive. Only the garage and the small entryway will be visible from the street. The 32-foot elevation change within the building footprint area makes it difficult to construct a driveway with acceptable grade to the proposed garage. Due to the severe elevation changes, it is not practical to build within the 50-foot setback and provide a safe and manageable driveway. The reduced setback makes it possible to angle the garage so that it is accessible. The septic tank and field must be located behind the home to be placed in a somewhat level area. A floodplain is found in the rear of the site toward Honey Creek, creating an additional complication and further limits available space. The design has the full support of the HOA Architectural Committee. There are exceptional circumstances or conditions applicable to the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes of use in the district. Most of lots in the Wildwood subdivision are unusually shaped, but none have the combination of unusual shape, severely steep topography, and its connections to the private street at the end of the property. These characteristics do not generally apply to other properties in the R1 residential district and are the reasons for the proposed setback. 2, that such a variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right possessed by the property in the same zone and vicinity. These factors are the main reasons why this parcel has been developed. Without the variance, the house could not be constructed. 3, that granting of such a variance or modification will not be materially detrimental to the district public welfare or the materially injurious to the property or improvements in such zone district in which the property is located. The applicants have proposed a home with several characteristics that limit impact on other homes in the area, including a relatively small footprint. The width of the proposed house allows the water to flow around the house and down to the creek and not into the neighbor's yards. It would be built into the hillside, creating an unobtrusive view and enhance the value of other homes in the area. 4, that the granting of such a variance will not adversely affect the purpose or objective of the master plan of the township. The requested variance would not impact the master plan. Number 5, absent exceptional circumstances which would otherwise result in substantial injustice, the circumstances or conditions upon which the variance is based do not result from the actions of the applicant or their predecessors in title. The Wildwood subdivision has been in existence since 1987. The factors that make the applicant's request necessary are not the result of anything the applicants did.
All right, motion by Mr. Shields to grant the variance, supported by Mr. Kangas. Any discussion? Satisfied with the wording of the motion?
Okay, Kangas? Support? Noel?
Yes.
Let's call the roll.
That's what I'm doing. What did I do wrong?
What's that?
What did I do wrong?
Nothing, I'm waiting to have my name called.
Oh, okay. We'll do you next then.
Yes.
Okay. Walsh,
Yes.
Shields, yes.
Okay, the motion to grant the request is approved 5-0. Mr. Shields, would you present?
Be delighted to.
a written decision of the zoning board of appeals to the applicant. You'll get some copies, signed originals in a moment. Good luck.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
So how long before when I drive by?
Well-
Only the garage.
All right, let me cross my fingers first. We're hoping by the end of next year.
Great.
But we haven't talked to builders yet because we were waiting to see if we had a plan we could build. So
I'm hoping to break ground in the spring and be in by Christmas of 26.
if you drive by, knock on the door, we'll make you a drink and give you a tour. Nothing best for anybody.
It's an easier way to see it if you want. You could just walk from Wagner Road over their bridge and look at their house.
Thank you.
That's a much easier way to say it, right?
But thank you all for your consideration.
Well, Mr. Shields, here's two originals. With it, but you.
They're coming.
Thank you
So
for
much.
coming.
Now, before if we can take any discussion outside, we do have stuff we have to do. Thank you.
He's asking us to stop talking.
I should note, because I just noticed it after we had started this last public hearing, that my recording machine,
Died.
well, didn't die, it just wasn't properly turned on. So, the, prior public hearing in which the applicant withdrew its application for zoning variance is not placed on the recording. Hopefully it's, in existence on these. Human error, probably completely my fault. I'm not gonna take it away. In lieu of the fact that the applicant withdrew the application, perhaps it's of no real consequence. And we'll go from there. Most of this hearing, the second hearing is on. All right, so, moving right along, the next item on the agenda. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of August 21st, 2025. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to take a look at that. I've gone through it. I can find no corrections at all.
Well done as usual.
Excellent job.
I hate to be, sound self-interested.
Well, do the best you can.
My name is misspelled. On page 3, the bottom paragraph. There's a
Say it ain't so.
Oh, singular.
Of course, I would notice it. More than anybody else.
All right, yeah, we have to change Mr. Shields' name on page 3, third line from the bottom, an S at the end. Anything else, Mr. Shields? Is your name otherwise spelled correctly?
Yes.
Anybody else?
What's that? Move to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended, by Mr. Wallace, supported by Ms. Knoll. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any, opposition? There is none. Next item on the agenda is information report of the planning commission liaison. Taken together, I guess we can combine them, with the next item, which is the planning and zoning activity report from Carlisle Wortman.
One comment,
Sure.
Zoom has been on throughout the meeting. So there was a Zoom recording of
Yeah,
the first.
Yeah. I hope, well, certainly I hope so, but there has been at least one episode with which I'm familiar where that did not occur.
So that's why you do this, just as a backup.
This is a back, yeah,
Done it all
this is,
meetings.
just a handheld recording machine used as a backup.
As the planning commission liaison, I defer to the submissions from Laura because they're far more detailed. Hopefully everyone read them.
Yeah,
Questions?
I did. Well, I have tons of questions, but I mean, I'm not asking you to interpret someone else's report. Interesting stuff, I guess.
There's a lot going on.
Yep.
Yeah. The chicken ordinance. What's gonna be the chicken ordinance? What is that gonna be about?
I mean, we're updating to more accurately reflect what we believe people want. So it's reflection of how many chickens are separate from a different classification. I forgot. Then it's how many you can have based on lot size, some other things. But again, that's just recommendations to the board. It's up to the board to ultimately.
And
Did pass the accessory dwelling unit ordinance on Tuesday.
I guess I don't know what that one, I read it, but I didn't see what it was about though.
Well, it allows for up to a 1,000 foot square foot room, home, small home, garage, accessory dwelling unit on property. Where there's another home, and it's in certain zoning districts.
Where there's another home.
Well, it's an accessory to a residential home.
What's it?
So lot owner
what's it-
has to live in one of the two buildings. It's recognizing you may want to have a separate building for elderly parents coming in. You may have kids who are moving back. It was to make that, it was to put it in the ordinance as well as eliminate the community wastewater issue. That if you had multiple buildings using the same thing, it by definition was a community, which required some inspection, which ideally, if it got approved as we voted, got rid of that recommendation or that requirement.
To look at that. But it modified the community wastewater.
Right. Yeah, there's a
Issue.
modification
For
for
one accessory.
one accessory, right? Yeah.
Yes. A lot of communities are doing this.
Data centers.
Ann
We
Arbor's
did talk
done it
about
for-
data centers.
Hasn't Ann Arbor done it for years?
Well, the data center was brought up as a discussion item and
For
essentially.
the planning commission, we haven't talked.
Yeah, for the plan, and it's essentially what happened in the meeting was amongst the planning commission, it was just the general discussion as we were closing. I believe that property is so valuable in Scio Township, the idea or concept of someone trying to put a data center in Scio is unlikely.
So.
Maybe, I worry more about, the adjoining, Lodi and Lima.
Yeah, there was one, I think, might have, it's down south.
Well,
Yeah,
Saline is,
Saline Township was, yeah, was,
yeah, I don't know, I don't know all the details of that. But I don't think it directly affects us, it's gonna any of these things gonna indirectly affect us unless there's something to do. Some consideration by the appropriate person or authority about the pricing of this, because these guys are gonna, data centers gonna increase the cost of electricity to all of us unless it's addressed.
and there was concern about water use.
Yeah.
They are
Well,
water
Well,
hogs.
of course, yeah. whether
Does that
electricity,
also
water,
affect the quality of the water as well?
They can.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I've read that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Uh,
a lot going on.
yeah, there really is. Is there a specific need to get all this stuff done like super fast?
No,
Some of
Good, that's good.
the dwelling unit, the personal dwelling unit, chicken, I think we did something on solar.
solar array issue.
Yeah.
We dealt with that.
Yeah, as we're finishing them on planning commission, what we're trying to do is knock them off, vote on them, pass the recommendation to the board just to clear some things off of our plate.
Don't see that as a real need.
Getting some stuff off of our plate,
Yeah.
as a planning commission.
Yeah, really. I'm very serious about it.
You know, we started to work on a noise ordinance. We need to finish that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like to see something still. It's difficult. That one's particularly difficult. I just like I hope that Scio Township is in there amongst other townships recommending that I think it's a House bill to allow local regulation of speed limits passes. Goes to the Senate, passes there. You know what the speed limit is on Liberty Road?
55.
55 miles an hour.
Same thing on the.
Can you imagine?
No.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public.
One moment. Member Hill has-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tom, you had mentioned to me at our last ZBA meeting that you were going to send me a question to pose to Mariah.
I thought I was supposed to send
Yeah,
the
you were
question?
gonna send
Oh, I
it.
didn't
said you were
realize
gonna
that.
send it
I thought it was just simply you were gonna ask her.
And then I said I would forward it on to her.
It was the question of voting against or voting for or against a variance with a less than unanimous vote in a case where there's only 3 members present. What's the effect? Can you
It's
remember
something
that?
in writing, yeah.
I may be in tomorrow anyway.
I'm
We're
gonna
not-
be here.
I was gonna say, somebody told me Mariah was gonna actually be here tomorrow. So if
We
I
have a
do, I'll
staff
ask.
meeting,
What's that?
staff meeting.
Okay.
Mariah's gonna be at that.
Oh. I may see her and may ask her just as a heads up.
Okay, good. What time are you gonna be in here?
No, we're scheduled for
Okay.
Mark Perry.
Okay,
All right, at this time, public comment, people wishing to address the zoning board of appeals on matters which are not on the public hearing portion of the agenda. Each speaker shall identify him or herself by name, and such oral presentation shall be limited to 3 minutes, except a representative or spokesperson of an organization shall have 5 minutes to address the board, provided that if more than 5 citizens express a desire to speak, the chairperson in his or her discretion may limit the time of comment. Do we have anyone wishing to make public comment online soon?
No.
Nobody here present, so that we'll move along from the public comment section and move to adjournment or request a
So moved.
motion to adjourn by Mr. Walsh, seconded by Mr. Shields. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're closed out at 9:23. Thank you very much. We'll turn off this.
thank you.
Recording stopped.